In the fifth episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars, international queens Galavaro of Mexico and Eva La Queen of the Philippines found themselves in the bottom two. Based on their performances in the previous weeks, it was jarring to see these two international drag goddesses lip-sync for their life. And unfortunately, this led to the elimination of our homegirl, Eva, an elimination that to me felt both heartbreaking and unfair. Did Eva deserve to go home? Honestly, I'm torn. I'm always gonna root for her, and the edit made it seem like her performance was competent. But yeah, it wasn't bad, but it also was not a standout. Regardless, Eva La Queen is one of the most polished, business-savvy queens to come out of the Drag Race platform. So seeing her go home this early made fans feel like their suspicions were confirmed. RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars is starting to feel rigged. When RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars was announced, the excitement was palpable. A season featuring queens from the international franchises around the world? Sign me the up. Finally, since expanding to Chile in 2015, the Drag Race franchise has expanded into 15 worldwide versions. So this Global All-Star season seemed like the golden opportunity to showcase international drag talent on one unified platform. Girl, it's giving Miss Universe of drag. One queen, one country. And with 9 of the 12 competing queens never having been under RuPaul's gaze, it makes for an interesting dynamic. Well, it should have, but after a fabulous double premiere featuring fabulous talent performances from each queen, the season just took a very questionable turn. Like to a level that it upset the fans so much that pretty much everyone's calling for this spinoff to not be renewed. A big reason is because fans are starting to feel that Global All-Stars seems to favor queens only from their Ru-hosted franchises. And from a storytelling perspective, a lot of viewers also think that there is just something off. And as someone who's been watching, it is kind of, it's something. Now, I'm not gonna stand here and defend Eva La Queen because all of 12 queens are amazing. But it did break my heart as a Filipino to see Eva La Queen go home as early as she did. And that might just be the show failing to present that to the audience as something that was supposed to happen. And these little nuggets that make the audience feel like nothing is going right are, I think, the reason why Global All-Stars is really getting the worst reception for any Drag Race season in recent history. And that's why in this video, I think I'm just gonna point out some moments from the show so far that I think are nudging viewers to think that a winner has already been pre-selected. I am the biggest Alyssa Edwards fan. But just because we love someone so much doesn't mean we can overlook when things are happening around her. Here's the thing. I loved Alyssa Edwards' talent show performance. It was fun, it was very Alyssa, it was well produced, it was giving us all that it should give. But the thing with Global All-Stars is they brought together a really strong batch of queens. And I'm not alone in this in saying that as much as we loved Alyssa's talent show, everyone thought that so many other performances from that group should have actually been in the top 2. Now, I think she was good and I don't mind her being in the top 2, but that's not what most of the fandom thinks. So this might be one of the first moments where people were seeing like, oh, there is a narrative that production might be trying to push. Now, this started a firestorm on Drag Race social media. In the 4th episode of the season, there was a little friction between Helenia from Drag Race Italia against some of the competing queens. All of this is already all over the internet, but the gist is Helenia opened up about feeling like she was being underestimated by some of the girls in the competition. Now, as viewers, we know that it comes from somewhere because the show did present that there were some queens that were saying things about Niheleña's place in the competition. And maybe this is where the edit comes in. Because at one point, all the other queens that Niheleña was arguing with got upset that she felt that way. And as viewers, we felt like, why are you guys upset about what Niheleña is saying? You guys said all these things. So was there something missing that we didn't get to see? And that's why the fandom got to typing, because some of these queens got a lot of heat on social media. Of course, I don't believe that that should be happening because number one, it's a TV show. We all gotta chill because these amazing drag queens are putting on a show and we should take it and love it because whatever happens in a reality show, these queens are amazing, good people. But my point is, there was something off with how that whole moment was presented, that there were beats that I think were missing that didn't really successfully contextualize what was happening to the audience. And that might be the same problem that led to this other moment. Of course, Drag Race fans are not stupid. This franchise is almost 17 years old, so people who have been watching over the many years will notice every little thing. That's why everyone is feeling some kind of way about how the judging is presented. Because even for me, when I'm watching, it does feel to me like the girls from like the Ru hosted franchises always get really good critiques. And the rest of the girls, even if I feel like they are doing amazing in the challenge or the runway, they seem to get lukewarm comments. Just piecing together all of these things on the season is really confusing just for me. So imagine someone who's very, very passionate watching all of this unfold. Another thing that took me by surprise was how awful the presentation of the reading challenge was. And maybe it's because they want like shorter episodes for this global edition. But the fact that Kitty Scott Claus was shown her 3 reads and then she ended up winning the challenge, and then some of the other queens got 1 was very odd to me. Now, this is just maybe my producer hat working or my editor hat working, but even if they were bad reads, they should have included them and let the audience decide. And sometimes bad reads can be really, really funny. It's just such a weird arrangement because there were like 9 queens left. Why just not show more reads? It just feels like they're keeping things from us. And when the audience feels like that, coupled with this observation, ooh.
Rigor Morris, girl. It was rigor Morris, girl.
Who's Morris?
Now, for me personally, I don't think that this should have been that much of an issue. But the thing is, there's already this veil of fans thinking that things are being arranged to portray queens as winners and portray other queens as not the winners. Bad enough that a few episodes in, people already feel upset at the fact that it seems like Ru and production just seem to love those from the English-speaking Ru-hosted shows. We can't blame fans for thinking that there is favoritism. And is there favoritism? I don't know. Now, this video isn't to like add more fuel to the fire because it's a wildfire already.
This is fine.
But I really wanted to look into why the audience feels this way. Because it really could be that poor production choices, bad editing equals accusations of favoritism. And maybe it is true. Maybe production wants to favor certain queens. What's sad about that for me though is the fact that all 12 contestants don't need that. Even the queens that fans have been saying are being pushed to have the winner narrative, I don't think they need that. Every single one of them is a talented queen worthy of winning Global All-Stars. Because the thing with Drag Race is it's a reality competition. And as much as we can all say, well, it's a reality show, it is a competition. And a big factor of a competition is for it to be fair. Because whether the accusations are true or the theories are real, it's not fun to watch a competition that does not seem to have integrity. Especially for a show that has some of the best artists and entertainers out there. Now let me end on this. One thing is for certain, fans are smart and they're getting smarter. At this point, no amount of gaslighting through the edit is gonna make the audience think that a performance is good when it's not, or a performance is bad when it's not. And that's kind of the fun of Drag Race as we know it today, because it adds this very interesting layer to Drag Race conversations. So when some of these production choices fail to exhibit a good narrative, some of the audience will feel left out. And that's kind of dangerous territory for a franchise that's been accused of sidelining queens of color sometimes. But okay, there's still a few more episodes to go, so maybe there's hope for redemption. Right now though, Global All-Stars feels less like a celebration of international drag and more like a carefully scripted narrative that only lets the favorites shine. The glitter might be starting to fade. And that is the end of this video, our thoughts on RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars. Again, we just did this video all out of love. We just wanted to share our thoughts and kind of get into why the Drag Race fandom is feeling this way about Global All-Stars. Now, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, because we are going to be sharing our thoughts on so many more drag things very soon. By the way, if you're also tuning into Drag Race Philippines, we have a series explaining everything that's happening every episode down to the Filipino references, so you who aren't from the Philippines can also understand. Check that playlist out now. As always, we promise to bring Filipino pop culture to the world, so like and subscribe, and we will see you all in the next video. Bye!